No, it's weird because people, like, I sort of got more popular because of a routine that I did on gun control. And people come and see me because of the gun control routine, and they want me to do some political commentary or some social commentary. And then I just did, like, what was that, 10 minutes on docking. And the thing about the gun thing is weird. It's like, it's nice to have that as a calling card, that people want to see you because they like that routine. But then also, it's a double-edged sword because I get more popular after a massacre, and that's really not what you want. It's not like you're sitting at home, ooh, there's been a massacre. Ooh. It's tough because people think if you talk about gun control in America, you're talking about banning guns. I'm not talking about banning guns. I'm talking about controlling guns. See, like, after what happened in Las Vegas, that guy shot all those people. I think he had like 48 guns or something like that. All the news people were like, well, gun control wouldn't have done anything because he bought all the guns legally. And you're like, yeah, gun control could have fucking solved that. How about if we brought in a law where you're allowed 7? If you can't protect your family with 7, you're no fucking good with the guns. See, this whole idea that if you bring in gun control, you're going to ban guns is a load of bullshit because there already is gun control. There's things like you can't put a bayonet on the end of your gun because that'd make your gun too stabby. And it's the right to bear arms. It's not the right to bear guns. It's the right to bear arms. Arms are weapons. See, in Texas, you can open carry an assault rifle on your back into Target. But you can't walk into Target with a chainsaw. People would think that's fucking weird. You walk into Target, just vroom, vroom. Security would be like, what's the fuck with the chainsaw, man? You'd be like, this is my protection chainsaw. This is to protect me and my family. You'll be happy I'm here if a bad guy with a chainsaw comes in. Because the only way to stop a bad guy with a chainsaw is a good guy with a chainsaw. See, this idea that all guns are protection is fucking bullshit. They're not all for protection. You can buy sniper rifles. Rifles that can shoot 2 kilometers. How is that for protection? Who the fuck is sitting in the front of the house looking at some cunt 2 kilometers away? Like, back down! He goes, I'm all dehydrated. I need a Gatorade or a Powerade or something with aid. I need electrolytes. My mouth is dry. And I'm just staring at him like. And then he points at me, he goes, well, why don't you? You do the TV show with the disabled boy. And I said, I do the TV show with the disabled boy. And he goes, I love that show. It's a fantastic show. You're masturbating off a little disabled boy in the Skype. What a great show that was. He goes, what are you doing here? And I said, I'm gonna do stand-up for the dinner party. And he went, there's no way that's gonna work out. And then he just fucked off. So I just break out into a fucking sweat right now, right? And then Mariah's assistant comes up to me and she goes, it's time. Now, let me paint a picture for you. There's 20 people in a garden sitting on long tables surrounded by tiki torches before tiki torches had racist connotations. They're all famous people. They do not know that there's any entertainment. Nor have I been announced. There is not a microphone. There is not a light. I'm walking out in my socks. I just look like a guy who's gotten onto the property and has a few things that he wants to say. See, the difference between stand-up comedy and a drunk guy giving opinions, that's it. That's it. So I walk out, and so Mariah Carey sitting here, James Packer sitting here, Eddie Murphy sitting here, Al Pacino sitting here, Warren Beatty sitting here, and it gets less and less famous as we go along. So I walk out, I've never done a birthday party before, so I just treat it like a kid's birthday party. So I walk up to a 50-year-old man and I go, hey, hey! Happy birthday! And he went, who are you? And I went, who am I? I'm Jim Jefferies, your favorite comedian. And he goes, I don't know you. And I pointed at Mariah and I said, Mariah! And Mariah's on like 7 Xanax of the fucking day. And she just looks over at him and goes, remember we watched him on the computer doing something? And it was very clear that they were towards the end of their relationship because he was just like, why do you talk? And I went, fuck it. I'll tell some jokes anyway, shall I? At that stage, Leonardo DiCaprio walks in with 3 of the hottest chicks I've ever seen in my fucking life. He has a beard because he just did that movie where he had sex with a bear. I haven't seen it. He walks up, he stands next to me. Everyone greets him like he's Norm from Cheers, right? Somehow this cunt gets to keep his shoes on. And he just chats to the table for 3 minutes. So for 3 minutes, I'm standing next to Leonardo DiCaprio like this. At the 3-minute mark, he doesn't even look at me. He just points at me and he goes, what's all this about? And Warren Beatty went, we don't know. And then Leonardo DiCaprio took the women over and sat on some garden furniture, and I was like, fuck it. I just got to do 12 minutes. No one says that anyone has to laugh. I just got to fucking talk, right? So I just started phoning in some fucking jokes. I just looked at him and went, there's a turtle at my kid's school, and I told the turtle routine, and I'm just fucking walking around telling the fucking turtle routine. James Packer is getting angrier and angrier, just like, fucking... At one stage, he says to Mariah Carey at the same volume that I'm talking next to him, he says, why did you think I'd enjoy this, right? And I'm like, just keep smiling, Jim. Keep a song in your heart and they can't hurt you. So I keep going, and he's getting angrier and angrier. And then he just goes like this. Gun control. And I said, yes! I'm the gun control guy. And he goes, I love that bit. Do that bit. And I said, I haven't performed that in over a year. I really don't know how it goes. And he went, just fucking do it. And I went, okay. So I started doing the gun control thing. So I'm like running across the lawn to do the fucking safe thing. Now, that routine is 16.5 minutes long. I got through it in 8 minutes. Because it turns out it's shorter without laughter. I did get a laugh, though. I got a laugh from James Packer. And like the halfway moment during the routine, he just gave this like Australian billionaire gluttural fucking laugh. He just went, ha! Now this laugh is so distinctive to my Australian ear that if I was in the outback and I heard it, I'd become like Steve Irwin. I'd be like, oh, that's the Australian billionaire. And then he just went, and because it was his birthday, it was like a moment in a medieval film where the king started laughing and the rest of the courtyard was like, the king is amused. And they all started laughing a little bit. And all of a sudden, I wasn't having a good gig, but I was getting away with it. So I finished up the show and then I did a routine that was on my last special about how I'm a 5 in the looks department, but because I'm on TV, I had to fuck 6s and 7s. But because I'm an alcoholic, I fuck 4s and 3s. So I did that routine, then afterwards I'm standing around with my manager, Alex, and we're drinking, and Al Pacino and Warren Beatty walk up to us, and they're drunk as fuck, or they're just old. And Al Pacino walks up to me, and this is the exact words he says. He went, oh, couple of 5s are talking to each other. And I forgot my routine. I'm like, sorry? And he goes, I'm a 5. You're also a 5. And then I remembered, I went, oh, well, you know, I get to fuck 6s and 7s because I'm on the TV. I bet you're fucking crazy 9s and 10s, right? And he grabs one of the girls with Leo and he drags her in and he goes, you're right. And then he pushed her away, and then Harvey Weinstein just tackled her and dragged her into the bushes. And then he goes like this, he goes, oh, I like what you do. You tell stories. Nobody tells stories anymore. You tell a story, I'm enjoying myself. Oh, I'm enjoying myself. But then you get distracted and go on a tangent, and I think, oh no, I'll never hear the end of this tale. But then you come back to the story, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He remembered the whole time. And then he kept talking for like 10 minutes, and like the 10-minute mark, I hadn't said a word. And he literally said, he goes, you haven't said anything. Am I talking too much? And I said, Mr. Pacino, this is one of the greatest moments in my life. Please keep talking till I come. And he said, a challenge. And then he said to me, he goes, do you act? Now, Al Pacino says, do you act? And I'm like, I've acted. I'm not an actor, I'm a comedian. And he goes, oh, I know a lot about acting. And I was like, yeah, you do. And he's like, you're gonna be a great actor, a great actor. And I'm like a fat chick being hit on. I'm like, And then he went, no, fuck it, don't act. You're better than us. Acting's for idiots like me and him. And he points at Warren Beatty, and Warren Beatty at this stage is looking at a moth going around a tiki torch, like. He goes, you're better than us. You tell stories. You're a director. And I'm like, all right. He's like, say it for me. Say, I'm a director. And so I went, I'm a director. And he went, say it again. And I went, I'm a director. And he goes, one more time. But this time, I need more passion from you, George Jamison. And so I just got the fever and I went, I'm a director. And everyone at the party stopped what the fuck they were doing, and they all stared at me, and I went, I don't know what's going on now. Warren Beatty's all confused. He leans over and goes, what do you direct? And you know when you're a kid, like in your teens, you just lie all the time? But you don't really lie past 30, you lie to get yourself out of trouble. Lies like, I don't know that girl, I was somewhere else, right? I just did one of those like teenage lies. He goes, what do you direct? And I said, I've directed 2 independent films, and I have a big budget film in the works with Warner Brothers. And then Warren Beatty looks at me and goes, how can we stay in touch? And I just went, I'm fucking lying, man. And before I could say anything else, my manager saw that I was drowning in this conversation, and he swooped in so Hollywood. He just came and he goes, I love this. Jim Jefferies, Warren Beatty, you're gonna make a lot of great films together. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna take my number, Warren, I'm gonna take yours, we're gonna stay in touch. And they start swapping numbers, and I'm standing up to the side like, I don't know what the fuck this is. And before I can say anything stupid, Alex puts his arm around me and drags me out of the party, and I'm like, I don't know what just happened, Alex. I don't know what just happened. And he turned to me and went, you're gonna have to learn how to direct. Now, it's good, no hecklers, happy. And I don't like the hecklers. I was doing the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland. I have to say Scotland because American people are watching. I was doing the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland, and I was performing in front of about 400 people. And I was doing a routine that I've done in one of my older specials that I don't do anymore about how you have to baptize your children. Because if you don't baptize your children and they die in infancy, then they don't get into heaven. Because God's a good guy, but he does have some rules. And if he lets one dead baby into heaven, then he has to let all the dead babies into heaven. And before you know it, heaven's just filled with fucking dead babies. So I'm on stage kicking dead babies around, as you do at work. And this woman in the 4th row, very attractive, but she's in hysterics. She's crying, her eyes are bawling. And she just stands up and goes, you fucking bastard! You bastard! And then she just leaves the room just in hysterics, just, ah! I'm still fucking mid-kick, like this. And then her husband stands up, and he picks up a handbag, and he holds the handbag like all men hold handbags. 2 hands in front of the chest. I'm holding this for someone else, so Anyway, so he picks up the handbag, and he holds it, and we can still hear her screaming. She went out that door, she's screaming. The staff are trying to calm her down. She's screaming. And the husband stands up and he goes, I'm sorry, Jim. I'm sorry, everyone. We were expecting our first child and she miscarried at 7 months. And that was 6 weeks ago. And the baby was due this week. So we decided to leave the house for the first time and forget about our problems. and to try to have a laugh. Anyway, Jim, the first half of the show was really great. And then he just leaves awkwardly like, excuse me, sorry. We can still hear her screaming. Men and women in the room are crying their eyes out, which isn't good for comedy. And I'm trying to bullshit my way out of it. I'm on stage going, hey, that joke was more about the hypocrisy of religion rather than dead babies per se. And as I'm doing that, in the second row, a Geordie fella from Newcastle, England, he stands up in the second row and he points at me, really angry like this, and he goes, "To be fair, she's fucking hot." And a sentence fell out of my mouth so fast I couldn't put the words back in. I went, well, they get to keep their figure when they don't carry them full term. I'm not proud of this. I'm just reporting it. As soon as I said it, bottles just started getting thrown at me. Just fucking woof. I'm like fucking from the Matrix, like, whoa. And I was just like, good night! So that was many years ago. If you're watching this special at home, I hope you had a kid since then. What am I gonna do? A miscarriage brought so much joy to other people. But, you know, I understand people love their families, they want to fucking do their best. I'm actually, I'm going to say something now that's going to make some people upset. It's weird that I say it. I'm a single dad now. I've been a single dad for over a year, and when people hear it, they get all, oh, it's a shame. Not a shame. Me and my ex weren't getting along. We're still good friends now. I'll tell you how we broke up. This is literally how me and my ex broke up. I bought a house 5 doors down from my house. And she goes, "What did you get that for?" And I went, "For you to live in." And she high-fived me and skipped down there. She was happy to go as well. So now I'm a single dad. And the weird thing is about being a single dad is before that I used to go on and on and on about what a great parent I was. But I wasn't a great parent. I wasn't. I was just a guy who lived with a 4-year-old. This is how I used to parent. I used to walk around the house. If I saw my son playing with a toy, I'd be like, "What are you playing with there?" "Lego." "Sounds fun. All right." And then his mum would take him to bed and I'd go, "Good night, sweet dreams, my prince." But I was a shit parent. Well, now it's just me and him. And so I have this 4-year-old that comes over fucking every second week I get my kid. And he comes over and I try to make it as normal a family life as we can. But the little cunt only eats like 4 different foods. He eats like macaroni and cheese, chicken, and fucking pizza and apples. I try to make him eat other things, but his mother doesn't, and there's a big argument. That's why she lives in another fucking house. Anyway. But he comes over, and I try to have family meals with him, right? So it's just me and him. So I make him chicken, I have to bread it, I have to do things, I have to make it a certain level, and then I cut up some apples, and then I sit there, and then he comes and eats dinner with me, and I'm not gonna make 2 fucking meals, so I'm eating fucking chicken and apples as well. So we're sitting there eating a meal, and I don't let him watch TV while we're eating. That's family time, so it's me and him. But I gotta be honest, I wanna watch the TV. The conversation runs out pretty fucking quick. He hasn't got a lot going on. I go to him, I go, "How was your day?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know." And I go, "What did you do at school?" He goes, "Drew a picture." And I'm like, fuck, this is a long meal. Anyway, so I make him the chicken, I make him the apples, and then I take him upstairs for bedtime at 8:30, and he has a bath, and I wash his hair, and I put him in some pajamas, and he's all fresh and clean, and I put him in the bed, and I sing him the same song every day, and then I read him a story, and then I wait till he falls asleep, and then I go downstairs and watch TV. And then about 2 hours later, about 10:30, I just hear screaming, just, and I run up the fucking stairs. I get up there, he's covered in vomit. He's vomited all over, he's got vomit through his fucking hair. I pick him up, he's shitting, right? He's shitting. in vomiting onto me. So he's vomiting onto me, but he's shitting in front of where I'm walking. So I'm walking through shit as vomit's coming onto me. I put him on the toilet. I get him a bucket. He is now shitting and vomiting simultaneously. Now, maybe I didn't cook that chicken long enough. Anyway, so he's just sitting there. He's never had food poisoning before. I ate the same meal. The little cunt's just got a weak constitution. Anyway, so he's sitting there, shitting and vomiting at the same time, and the poor little fella, because he's 4, his brain doesn't compute that this won't go on forever. He actually looked at me shitting and vomiting, and he looks at me and he goes, I guess this is me now. And I'm just laughing like, you'll be all right, fella, you'll be all right. Anyway, this goes on for a couple of hours, where it's about midnight now. He's empty. Everything's out of his body. I give him another bath, and I wash him off, and I wash all the vomit out of his hair, and I put him in some new pajamas, and I say, come and sleep in my bed, mate. Everything's gonna be all right. And he sleeps in my bed, and I pat his back until he goes to sleep, and then I go to sleep, and then 2 hours later, I shit the bed. Now, this wasn't like I woke up with cramps and went, oh, and then I shit the bed. No, the shit and the waking up was a simultaneous thing. I just lay in there, I just went, oh, oh, oh. He's fast asleep. Now, I've just shit the bed next to a 4-year-old, which I assume is a crime. And I've never felt so sick, and I get out, and I'm in my underwear, and there's just shit pouring down my thighs. And I'm like, ah! And I vomit on the floor, and I'm walking through my own vomit, and I'm shitting onto the vomit, and I make it all the way to my toilet. And I sit there, and I'm shitting. I didn't have a bucket, and so I'm just vomiting into the fucking bathtub and shitting. And I actually said out loud, I guess this is me now. Now, I'm there for a couple of hours. I'm taking all my clothes off, and so now it's like 5 in the morning, and I'm fucking naked and just still shitting and vomiting. And my son wakes up. He's feeling fresh as a daisy. He comes in, his pajamas all clean, his hair's all fluffy. He walks in, holding his teddy, he walks around the pile of shit and vomit. He walks in to see his father shitting and vomiting on the toilet, and he looks at me, he goes, we had a tough night, didn't we, Dad?